tracks are in the boxes, and the clowns have all gone to bed. You can hear happiness staggering on down the street. Footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers fairy. A broom is drearily sweeping up the broken pieces of yesterday's life. Somewhere a queen is weeping. Somewhere a king has no wife. The wind, it cries very. Traffic lights, they turn blue tomorrow and shine an emptiness down on my bed. The tiny island sags downstream. And the wind screams merry.
Nick, will you bring up my...
Aidensfield Police. Oh, hello, Alf. The pawnbrokers.
Well, it's been broken into.
Isn't that on Phil's beat? Well, when did he last ring in?
About 40 minutes ago. Could be he's on to something. We're having a quiet fag behind the fire station. Soon as he makes point, I'll send him on.
Some sort of van, you think?
Small.
A minivan, maybe?
Like I say, small.
Dark coloured?
Black. Or maybe blue. No, I tell a lie, we're green, dark green. Oh, making such a racket, enough to wake up the dead.
Well, thanks for your help, Mr. Harris.
I'd given you the number, but it was going so fast.
If we need to speak to you again, we'll be in touch.
Yes,
Excuse me?
Yes.
Phil, Alf's just told me. What happened? How do you mean? You're supposed to be doorknobbing this area, aren't you? I've got caught up in something. What's the damage? The owner's still checking.
Yay! Come on in! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on in!
Alex!
Kate!
What's all this?
I've got a patient waiting there. I was daydreaming over the paper, I swear to you. If Mr. Parrish hadn't phoned...
Mr. Parrish?
Bronchitis is playing him up again.
Mr. Parrish is on my list, Alex.
Yeah. Yes, of course he is. What on earth am I doing?
Feeling the urge to work again, that's what.
Huh? Oh, heavens, no, it's just a... I'm sorry, Kate. Damn telephone call obviously got me going.
Don't even think about it.
No. Well, I'll leave him to you then, eh?
Marvellous. I put my head down for 5 minutes as a bloody crime wave.
One of the neighbours saw a minivan when she was putting her cat out. She thought it was delivering.
Delivering? That time of night? They deserve to be robbed. Well, what about this minivan, then?
Well, there's no number for it, Sarge. But everyone who heard it said it had a rather loud exhaust.
Well, these thieves seem to have known what they were looking for. Bellamy, you were on duty last night.
Yes, Sarge.
Well, a van loading up at the back of a shop, 11 o'clock at night. Where the hell were you?
Well, I checked the premises just before the break-in, Sarge.
And you saw and heard nothing?
Well, no, I'd moved on by then, hadn't I?
What were you doing there, Owen?
Well, Alf called me out.
Alf? Well, it sounded like it might have been a mob-handed job. You know, that P.C. Bellamy might have needed some help.
Right. Well, you handle this, Rowan. Jewellery shouldn't be difficult to recognise. If anything starts circulating, I want to know.
They'd have to be pretty dumb to try it, Sarge.
If all criminals were intelligent, we'd be out of a job.
Hello. Hello. He's very friendly, isn't he?
Yeah. Real softy is Jimbo.
I'm Dr. Rowan. Mr. Parrish called the surgery.
All right, David. I'll handle this. Come on in, Doctor. I'm sorry to make a fuss.
It's no trouble, Mr. Parrish. When did you first have treatment for this?
Shortly after I came to live here. Dr. Ferrenby put it down to chronic bronchitis.
Were you ever a smoker, Mr. Parrish?
Not me. No, you need a good pair of lungs in my job. Greyhound trainer, wasn't I?
You seem to have made quite a go of it.
Had a bit of luck now and then.
Is Jimbo one of your racing dogs?
No, I gave it up some years back. But I kept Jimbo. I trained him up just to keep me hand in, like. Well, what do you think?
I'm not sure. It seems odd that before you came here you had no history of chest trouble.
Marvellous, isn't it? I come here for my health. After I retired. And this happens.
You were in the First World War, Mr. Parrish?
Right, with the West Kents. That's me and me mates before we left for Gallipoli.
The reason I ask is that some of my patients still suffer the after effects of gassing.
Oh, it's none of that in Gallipoli. There was Turks, heat flies, and thick as two short planks generals.
Just a thought. Fine-looking young men.
None of them came back, you know. Saving yours truly, like.
You better take one for yourself and all here, and one for Liverpool Lil.
Oh, thanks, Claude.
You sold another bit of land, Claude? No, got me insurance money through for me car at last.
The American one? What took them so long?
They said I was only insured third-party fire and theft, so I told them it was a third party that nicked it and set fire to it. Marvellous, isn't it? First time you make a legitimate claim, they try to knock you.
I bet you made a profit, though.
Oh, naturally. Well, I mean, it's still a liberty, isn't it? Gina, you know most of the young lads around here, don't you?
Well, I know a few, like.
Do you know one with a black greyhound?
Black Greyhound? Oh, that'll be David Parrish.
Parrish, her name rings a bell.
It's not his, though. Belongs to his granddad.
You know, the old chap who bought the Harrison place.
Yeah, David's come to help him out on the farm. He's not well, you see. Anyway, what do you want to know for?
Oh, another. I just saw the dog running, you know. It looks like a flying machine.
David?
How is he, Doctor?
Not great. I'll make up a mixture to ease the cough, but he'll have to stay indoors and rest.
I hate to see him like that. Sometimes he can't seem to breathe at all. I wish he'd pack it in. Mum and Dad want him with us, but he won't have it, will he?
Any progress locating that minivan, Rowan?
Not yet, Sarge. With the dodgy exhaust, we should find it.
Not much to go on, is it?
It's about all we've got, and if it's local, we'll have it.
Aye. And pigs might fly.
Are you sure it's bronchitis?
Well, it's very common among men of his age in this part of the world.
Yes, but he doesn't come from round here. And he's had no history of chest trouble until this flared up a few months ago.
So?
So I'm wondering if it might be an allergic reaction.
An allergic reaction?
Yes. I'm sure I read somewhere about an allergy with symptoms very similar to Mr. Parrish's.
You know what I do when I hear the word allergy, Kate? I reach for the syrup of figs. If you take my advice, you'll do exactly the same thing, my dear.
You the copper dealing with that pawnbroker's job on Marshall Street?
Have you got a name? Yeah, all right. What number lookup? Right. I'd still like to know your name. Concerned citizen. Right, thank you. Alf, I've just had a tip-off about that pawnbroker's break-in.
Oh, yeah?
Anonymous. The bloke says the gear's stashed in the lockup.
Tell you who owns the lockup?
Oh, I got a name. Could be having me on. I'll check it out.
Useless, dozy animal.
I'm doing the best I can with it, Mr. Scarman.
Ah, you promised me the Maddleskirk Trophy this year, Wilfred.
Give him a chance,
What
Jack.
do you know about it?
I was just...
Wait in the car. The money I've put into that dog. Eh? And for what? To be laughed off the sodding racetrack.
Jack, yours don't seem to be chasing.
Chasing?
Well, you know what it's like with greyhounds. I mean, you can never tell, can you? I mean, what looks best when you buys can perform least when you races.
Spare me the clod kicker wisdom, eh, Greengrass?
Oh, no, I just mean, you know, when you put your sort of money into greyhounds, I mean, it's natural you want to win, eh?
The only race that bugger will win is a three-legged handicap.
I know, but what you sees is not always what you gets, is it?
Just why the hell are you here anyway, Greengrass?
I thought you never asked, Jack.
It's the same as it was when I let it. What you found?
Some jewellery. Stolen by the look of it.
Bloody hell.
What do you know of the bloke who rented it?
Not a lot. He rang up and we agreed terms, and he sent someone round with the rent in cash.
When was that?
A week back.
And how did he sound?
Youngish. Local, I'd say. Oh, hang on, I've got an address. In case of emergency. Yeah. Here we are. But that's one emergency didn't reckon on.
Yes, well, they've made me captain again this year.
Yes, you told us that the other night, Sarge.
I'm very proud. Well, what's this then?
Oh, you got lucky then, Nick.
It's about half the stuff nicked from the pawnbrokers.
Well done, Ron. It's about time you started to earn your keep.
Any idea who parked the stuff then?
Well, I got an address.
Oh, do we know him?
Well, according to the owner of the lockups, it was rented to a Mr. Peter Bennett, living at this address. Do you recognise it, Phil?
Is this some kind of a joke?
What's going on?
It's Phil's address.
It's nothing to do with me, Sarge.
A serious crime is committed on your beat. You see and hear nothing. and some of the loot turns up in premises rented by a mysterious stranger with your initials and your address. And all you can say is it's nothing to do with me, Sarge.
I know how it looks, Sarge, but...
That's not how it looks. It's how it is, Bellamy.
It doesn't add up, Sarge. In fact, the whole thing smells.
Stinks to high heavens how I'd describe it, Rowan.
An anonymous tip-off that leads us straight to Phil's address. Has to be a set-up, Sarge.
That has yet to be determined. I'll have to search your flat, Bellamy. If you've no objections.
No, Sarge.
Now then, David Parrish, is it?
That's right.
Of this parish? I bet they all say that. We've not met proper. I'm one of your neighbours, Claude Greengrass.
Aye, I've seen you about, Mr. Greengrass.
Well, I heard like your granddad wasn't very well, so as I was passing, I thought I'd bring him a nice few fresh eggs and a couple of Watsits.
Thanks.
All right. I'll hold him.
I'll take you in to see him, only he was up most of the night and he's resting now.
Ah, well, best let him rest, eh?
Yeah. It's real decent of you, Mr. Greengrass.
Ah, it's noticed the sort of thing we do up here, you know, neighbours.
Aye. Is there anything else?
No. Well, as a matter of fact, there is probably one favour you can do me.
I'll just take these and then I'll be right back.
Aye, right, I'll look after the slime machine. There you go, son, you've got some quarters.
Well, no one told me about her, the way she lied. Well, no one told me about her, how many people cried. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there.
There's nothing here, Sarge.
No, nothing here either.
Told you.
It's for your own good, this, Bellamy.
Sarge, I'm no thief.
Maybe not. But someone might say that you have taken a payoff for looking the other way.
So now you're saying I'm a bent copper, eh, Sarge?
I'm just telling you how this could look to others. Our superiors in division, who don't know you from squit.
Sarge, it's a set-up.
Bellamy may not be brain of Britain, but even he wouldn't rent a lock-up using his own address.
So what happens now, then, eh?
Well, that's for others to decide. Until they do, you know the procedure. You're on suspension. I'll keep you informed of the situation. Rowan?
Don't worry, Phil. I'll sort this out.
Rowan! You know it's forbidden to see or speak to an officer under suspension.
Yes, Sarge?
Right, then. Let's have you.
I'll see you, Phil.
Watch me now! Oh, shake it up, shake it up. Yeah, shake it down.
I had to tell him apart, ain't it?
Yeah.
Jack, have I got an eye or haven't I?
Ever get tired of your own voice, Greengrass?
Look, Jack, if you don't want to bother...
Oh, no offence, Claude. Hey, that bloody hound left Northern Flash standing.
Right. Is it on or not, then?
One way or another, I want that Madalskirk trophy. It's on, all right.
Hey, and don't worry about the white patch. I'll sort that lot out.
I want that dog racing fit. Get it here on a regular basis.
Leave it to me. Hey, and I'll keep the kid sweet.
Don't let me down, Claude. That dog will be carrying real money on the night. Profit for me. And you, Claude.
Did he have to suspend him?
Well, you know Blaketon. He likes to play things by the book.
Any idea who might have set him up?
No, not yet. We need to trace that minivan.
Oi!
I know that woman from somewhere. Back in a minute.
Who is she?
Never you mind. Who are those two with Greengrass, George?
I don't know the woman. Debbie, I think Greengrass called her. But the bloke, though, he's somewhat else. Jack Scarman, property developer.
Should I know him?
You would if you crossed him in business or hung around dog tracks.
The duty log for night patrols, Alf.
All right.
Wednesday the 23rd, 3 weeks ago.
What about it?
Well, I'm on night relief, and Phil was supposed to meet me at the Marshall Street call box. He was 15 minutes late.
So?
So, it says here, he was on time. You're writing, Alf.
Oh, come on, Nick. We've all covered for a mate in our time.
Yeah, but covered what for a mate? It happened again the night of the robbery. Same time, same location. And you covered for that and all, didn't you?
OK. I thought there was a bird involved, didn't I?
Is her name Debbie?
He never said, and I never asked.
Well, I will.
What? Speak to him while he's on suspension? Well, what if Blaketon finds out?
Well, you can cover for me. You're good at that, aren't you?
Mr. Parrish!
Up here, Doctor.
How are you feeling?
Not too bad now. But last night... Oh.
I need to ask you a few questions. Do you feel up to it?
Fire away.
All right. Is this the first time you've tried your hand at farming?
I'd hardly call fattening up a few calves farming, Doctor.
Yes, but did you ever spend a lot of time on a farm before you came here?
No. Town, born and bred me.
I want to take a blood sample, Mr. Parrish. As soon as the labs check it, we'll know for sure.
Know what?
The cause of your illness. And in the meantime, I want you to stay away from the barns and the animals.
Well, not even going and see Jimbo?
Until we get the results of the blood test. Best not.
You enjoying your holiday? Nick? Well, some people have all the luck.
Blaketon will have your head on a plate for this.
Well, I was out for a drink and guess who I bumped into, Sarge?
Do you want a drink?
No, thanks.
You sure?
Phil, you got any thoughts on who might have set you up?
Could be anybody, couldn't it? I mean, we don't make many friends in this job, do we?
Where were you when the break-in happened? You weren't on your beat, were you?
Has Alf been talking?
He didn't have to. It's obvious you were missing.
Does Blaketon know?
No, not yet. But he ain't stupid the minute he checks.
Yeah, well, I'll deal with that when it happens.
Were you with Debbie?
Out of order, Nick.
Look, this wouldn't be the first time a good-looking woman was used to set a copper up, Phil.
Debbie wouldn't. It's personal, Nick. End of story, all right?
If she had you looking the other way when that break-in happened, that makes it official. So where do I find her?
Forget it.
Suit yourself. I'll have a word with Scarman. She is his bird, isn't she?
Nick,
Wait. Sorry, mate. You were right. Come on. Scarman's got a scared rotten neck. And if he finds out, and he will, you know, if this goes public, but you can imagine what he'll do to her. Is he violent? No, with him it's all in his head. He gets others to do his nasty bits. Well, I've checked him out. He's got no form of any kind. Scarman stays this side of the law. Business at any rate. But he's ruthless, Nick. Just like he is with his women. How'd you get involved in all this, Phil? Found Debbie outside the house one night. She was in a right state. She tried leaving him and got knocked about for her trouble. By Scar? No, by one of his dodgy mates. Anyway, I kept an eye on her and one thing led to another. Playing Sir Galahad while on duty. You were asking for it, weren't you? Still, one thing about all this. It gives us someone with a motive to want to do, yeah? Scarman doesn't know anything about it. I mean, they only saw Debbie later, eh? Well, these things get known, don't they? And if he did know, what would he do about it? Well, he'd definitely go for Debbie. Yeah, right. After settling with you first, mate.
Morning, Kate.
Hello. I've just got the report back on Mr. Parrish's blood test.
On what test?
To check for allergic reaction.
Oh, yes. Well, what about it?
It's not chronic bronchitis. Extrinsic allergic alveolitis. It's caused by...
Are you accusing me of misdiagnosing Mr. Parrish's illness?
No, of course not. You weren't to know.
You're just teaching me my job. Is that it?
No, Alex. The disease has only recently been identified. Something called farmer's lung, caused by fungus spores in mouldy hay.
I see. Sorry, Kate.
You couldn't possibly have known.
At the very least, I should have known it wasn't bronchitis.
If I hadn't read that article, I would have missed it too.
But you didn't. And I did. Well done, Kate.
Miss Chapman?
Yes?
PC Rowan, Aidensfield Police. I'm pursuing inquiries about a break-in at the pawnbroker's up the road.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, I can't answer that. But it's got everything to do with Phil Bellamy. It's all right. He knows I'm here.
You better come in. I don't know what you want to hear, Mr. Rowan.
I'm just asking you to consider the possibility that Jack Scarman knew about you and Phil.
But he doesn't know.
Someone set Phil up, and I reckon it was Scarman.
You'll never pin that on Jack. Well, likes to box clever, doesn't he? You know, swim through the muck and come up smelling of roses.
If he did want to do Phil, how would he go about it?
Jack? Use the same bloke he set on me, I suppose.
Do you know who he is?
Don't want to know, do I?
Phil put himself on the line for you.
He's past the age of consent, isn't he?
This business could destroy his career if it's not cleared up.
If Jack is behind it, there is a bloke he'd use. He's a bit older than Phil and fancies himself as a right tough guy. At least where women are concerned.
So you do know who he is?
Yeah. I've met him. Jack had him pressure me when I wanted to leave.
How?
Knocking me about. Well, that's how I met Phil, when this character had almost run me over.
What's his name?
I only know him as Eddie. He didn't exactly introduce himself. Really fancies himself, though. Drives a souped-up minivan.
So now we're looking for a minivan with a souped-up engine.
Every witness I spoke to said it kicked up a racket when it was driven off.
Yeah, faulty exhaust.
Well, that's what I thought. But according to this Debbie, it's got a souped-up engine.
I don't see how it helps. Well, you can't go round looking under the bonnet of every minivan in the country.
Yeah, it's a minivan. Dark green bodywork.
With a Cooper engine?
Could be.
Hang about.
What's this? Farmer's Long, then, is it?
Yes.
Will I get better?
If we've caught it early enough, and I think we have. But you'll have to stay away from hay and straw.
But what about my calves?
Any kind of animal farming is out of the question.
Well, I can't stay out here unless I'm earning.
Well, I can only advise you, but if you want to get better, you'll have to have someone else to look after the animals.
I can't afford that. Oh. Or a bit of a dream, you know. Having a place like this after I retired.
I'm sorry. But your health must come first, Mr. Parrish. Morning, David.
Oh, Dr. Rowan.
Keeping busy?
Yeah. Me and Jimbo have been helping Mr. Greengrass out. Helping train greyhounds, but don't tell me Grandad.
I didn't know Mr. Greengrass kept greyhounds.
No, not his, Mr. Scarman's dogs.
Mr. Scarman's? Looks like well-paid work.
I'll say. Mr. Greengrass has been really generous about it.
Fish fingers. I like fish fingers.
Good. Nick, I'm a bit worried about David Parrish. He's working for Greengrass and he doesn't want his grandfather to know.
Why?
Apparently, Mr. Parrish was one of the best greyhound trainers in the country before he came up here. Now, Greengrass is using Jimbo, Mr. Parrish's greyhound, to help train up someone else's dog.
Whose dog?
Jack Scarman's. I thought that might interest you.
Hello, Clover. Oh, frightened the life out of me.
How's your luck been lately?
Oh, you know, up and down, mostly in the middle.
Even on the dog tracks? You all right?
It's got down the hole.
I hear you've been helping out Jack Scarman.
Well, he's a bit of business, that's all. He's you know, he's an acquaintance.
I'm looking for a friend of his. Young bloke, about 30-ish, drives a souped-up minivan.
Has he got a name?
No name.
Better get him baptised then, hadn't you?
Come on, Claude.
Look, I'm just helping Scarman out, that's all. I don't know about the people who work for him, do I? I mean, it's none of my business.
And nor was greyhound racing mine. Until maybe now. I'll see you, Claude.
David! I've just had the village constable on the phone, David.
Oh, what for?
A chat about you and Mr. Greengrass. And how it might concern Jimbo.
I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Mr. Greengrass said not to worry about it.
Don't worry. I know my own grandson. More to the point, I know the ways of some of the greyhound world.
What do you mean?
First, tell me what's been happening, and I mean everything.
Edward Mooney. You what? That vehicle's registered to one Edward Mooney. There's an address in Leeds. It's probably out of date.
Right, I won't be long.
Where are you going?
And if anyone asks, you can cover for me. Hello, Phil. Hey, what are you doing here? Can I come in? Yeah, what if Blayton is? He won't. You're broadening your mind, then? Well, have you heard of an Eddie Mooney? Eddie Mooney? Can't say I have, why? Well, we think we found the van, and it's registered in his name. It wasn't a dodgy exhaust, it's got a souped-up engine. Well, do we know where he lives? No, but we found the garage he uses, so hopefully we'll find him soon. Good. Yes, so don't you go wandering off this afternoon, you stay by the phone. What, I missed this?
Right, son, you go and get a cup of tea.
You look after Jimbo?
Oh, don't worry about that. He'll be all right with me and Alfred.
Right, I'll see you after big race then.
Right-o, son.
Oh, what kept you?
Well, I came back as quick as I could.
Well, I've just had a call for the police at Maddleskirk Dog Track. The van's there and so's Mooney, they reckon.
Have you told Blayton?
Not yet, no. He's out at the moment.
Right, well, when he gets back, tell him I've gone over there to deal with it, all right? Phil, it's me. Listen, get yourself over to the Maddleskirk Dog Track. I'll meet you in the car park. Yeah. All right, I'll see you then. Thanks, Alf.
You left a message. What kept you? Visiting me auntie in Leeds, right? Hello, gorgeous. Missed me, have you? Not very friendly to your mates, is she, go?
She's still learning. Here. Get weaving.
Gorgeous, track 6. Next. Northern Flash. Northern Flash, times today at 29:40, running in the Maddleskirk Trophy race, owner J. Scarman, right? Right. Northern Flash, trap 1. Thanks. Next.
You stay there, son. In, go on, go on, go on.
Are you sure Jimbo will be all right?
Take it easy, son. We're playing my game now. We'll see who plays it best.
This is the one.
I want that basket, Nick.
Right, take it easy, Phil.
Well, come on, let's go and get him.
He's probably going to be with Scarman.
Scarman's here today.
Yeah, he's got a dog running in the big race.
Everything all right?
Rembrandt couldn't have done a better job. Their own mothers wouldn't know them apart. how's it going out there?
We're on, next race.
Are we?
Trap 1.
Hey, not a bad draw. Right, I better get the breast sorted out.
Good. How much are you having on?
As much as I can get.
You greedy, sir.
Well, reap while the sun shines. Give the bookies a thumping while you're doing it. I'll get out and mingle. Look after Alfred for me, won't you?
Yeah, okay.
You all right?
Fine.
Scarman's not tried anything, has he?
No, at least not yet. It's what he did to you.
I can deal with that. It's you I'm worried about.
Don't worry. I'm working on it.
We're looking for a friend of Scarman's, Eddie Mooney. Is he here?
He's here, all right. Over there, in black. Watch yourself with him. It's a bloody head case, that one. I better get back. Take care, Phil.
Hey. We're moving behind him. I don't want him to see us, all right? And Phil, this is a police arrest. Not the gunfight at the OK Corral. Come on.
Yeah, what do you want?
But it's your dog tied up here.
Yes. Well, it was. Where is it?
It went that way.
Oh, bloody hell. Alfred!
Alfred!
And Mr. Slater's parrot says, and Geezer likes to get one on the go. We hope to hear him swear. We love to hear him squeak. We like to see him biting fingers in his horny beak. Sometimes he bites his soft nose. Once picking off a peanut with his toes. If Johnny Morris had him on his show, you'd hear the purest favorite say, hello!
You're not going to get away. This time, I'll stay there. Come on. Come on.
Now is the trap roll for race 3, the Madam's Trophy. Trap 1, Northern Flash. Trap 2, Wives' Tale. Trap 3, The Boxer. Trap 4, Northern Dancer. Trap 5, Winston. Trap 6, Georgie Porgy. And 4 minutes left for Dover, 4 minutes off. And the greyhound proceeding to the starting traps. Placed in the starting traps. Yes, now got it.
Come on, Flash. Come on, Jimbo! Pick the flag! Come on! Come on, son! Come on!
You car park.
Eddie Mooney?
What? Get out!
Your nicked mate.
No good blaming me, Jack. You're not the only one who's lost money, you know. I've done my brains and all.
You dozy. A dead ringer there couldn't fail. What happened about that?
I wouldn't trust that Wilfred as far as I could chuck him. He's so bent he can't lay straight in bed. I bet he's been taking dropsy from the bookmakers. Look,
Scarman! This ain't Jimbo, boss. Look! It's our own bloody useless Northern Flash.
I see that worried look.
No, wait on.
Jack, go! Go, he's done more! Jack! Oh, hey! Look, I'm bloody don't, please! Look, it's not my fault! Right! Jack, go! Go, he's done more! My head! No, that's me, woman!
Look what's just blown in.
Of? Nick? Blaketon called me over.
Must be something to do with his friend Eddie.
Yeah. And the rest of the pawnbroker's stuff we found stashed in his place.
I'm in the clear then.
Well, Mooney confessed to fitting you up. Claimed he had a grudge against you.
But I thought Scarman put him up to it.
Well, he did. But if it came out why he did, then his pride goes straight out the window.
What with the thrashing he took at the dogs, Debbie legging it, Scarman's had better days.
Ah, Bellamy. I've just been in consultation with our superiors at division. In view of Mooney's confession, you're back on duty. So let's see your face down here first thing in the morning. Now up it. Can't have you distracting the work of these constables here.
Sarge.
Yes?
Thanks.
And I do mean first thing. Well, it's obvious Mooney's taking the rap for Scarman. Not that we could ever prove it, mind. Bit of a mystery, though, why Scarman would want to nobble Bellamy. But then, what would life be like without its little mysteries?
As usual.
Oh, David.
Dr. Owen.
Mr. Parrish.
Yeah, I've decided to take your advice. You know, pack it in here.
I think that's very wise.
Right. I'm going to live with Dave and his family.
Well, you must be pleased, David.
You bet.
Well, when one dream fails, time to try another. Hey, Dr. Owen.
What's that?
A trip to Gallipoli. A last look in on my old army mates in the cemetery.
Hey.
What?
You got any more good tips for us then, Claude?
Next time you do a bit of ringing, make sure it's the church bells.